We are live. Welcome to the Conference Championship Weekend edition of the AB Sports College Football Podcast. We've got 4 G5 Conference Championship games kicking off tonight in a matter of hours. And then the power conferences, and of course, getting some action on Saturday, tomorrow. Going to be a great weekend of football. Sunday, we get a bracket from the committee. We've been debating over this since August, and we are getting a bracket from the committee in less than 48 hours. Leo, Ketchum, how you guys feeling?
I'm feeling good. I feel like we're going to be very unsurprised on some the committee releases their bracket, but there's a couple interesting things to look out for. And I think these are going to be a lot of fun games. I feel like these teams are very evenly matched.
I agree. I think potentially Ohio State, which I'm not even sure if we've seen them in a way where they have to kind of give their all and come back from behind to win a game, but everyone else, it seems like, has some flaws, Oklahoma doesn't play offense, other teams don't play defense. Like we'll see how it's going. Ketch, how about you?
I'm just looking forward to presumably the first round on-campus sites at Oregon, Ole Miss, A&M, Oklahoma. Those are going to be fun places to see home games in the playoff. That's where I'm at right now.
That is going to be fun.
I think it's kind of very likely not a single team that will host in the first round is playing this weekend.
That is interesting. And did it also no, it did not happen last year because Texas and Penn State lost their conference championship games.
So last year, there was the whole you only got to bye if you won your conference championship.
That's right.
I would have I guess we probably would have thought maybe the Big 12, the ACC team, would be hosting a game this weekend. That, if Texas Tech wins and given whatever happens in the ACC, that will not be the case.
I was actually thinking this morning about what debates would we be having right if it was still the 4-team playoff. I think Ohio State and Indiana would be locked in as undefeated teams, whoever loses that game. I think Georgia would probably need to beat Emma to stay in the top 4, potentially.
I agree.
And maybe it would be, does Texas Tech lose and fall out and let Oregon in? There'd be the big contention point would have been last week how they're ordering 11-1 Oregon, 11-1 Ole Miss, and 11-1 Texas A&M.
Well, let's take a look at the outlook from the committee here.
Yeah, let's see. Let's put it up on the screen so we can show it to you all while we talk about it. But it made me... Huh.
Yeah.
Well, the whatever happened to the first slide is... It's not sliding, so...
No, the first slide is not sliding, but what we have here is, we get to see the first 10 teams, at least, on the screen.
This is what the bracket looks like now. We were just kind of mentioning the 14 playoff. We'd have been debating what do they do with Oregon, A&M, and that made me very glad for the 12-team playoff for all of its flaws, because I think all 3 of those teams are absolutely playoff teams. 11-1, Big Ten, SEC teams, like those are playoff. It would have been a shame to see maybe none or maybe just one of them in the playoff if it was only 4 teams. So regardless of any point of contention about Miami or Notre Dame or Texas or BYU, I'm glad that the playoff expansion has happened, and I don't think this is the perfect system, but I'm glad that something did take place.
Yes, it would seem criminal to leave out one of Oregon, Ole Miss, or all of them.
All of them.
Ole Miss definitely would be getting left out with the no Lane Kiffin in this situation.
For sure.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see how they look. And their next game is a home playoff game.
Yeah,
can't really move from that. I think Ole Miss and Texas A&M are probably locked into home playoff games. I think there's a chance Oregon could move up to the bye, potentially.
I would be shocked to see. I mean, I guess if Texas Tech were to lose
and Georgia wins.
well, Yeah, then
because Bama winning,
Georgia
they
will
could
stay above Oregon no matter what. If Texas Tech loses, potentially Oregon gets into that spot,
potentially,
but
maybe not.
I know who we're all picking for that Texas
3
Tech
Big
BYU
Ten
game.
buys would go crazy for your only 3 teams in it.
That would go crazy. Honestly, it kind of seems like that's kind of how the conference has been these past few years.
Very top heavy.
Very top heavy. A few you get like USC and Michigan this year, kind of in that like 9-3 range, and then a bunch of extremely mediocre teams.
Penn State letting the whole conference down.
So I guess we've got a couple contention points for the playoff. We've got the BYU situation and the Miami and the Notre Dame situation. I know this has been talked about by everybody all week. Do you guys have any thoughts on that? What could happen with the results of the Big 12 championship game kind of holds Notre Dame's fate, it seems, or fate almost already sealed. What do we think?
I just am wondering if BYU were to lose tomorrow, they even drop it all.
That's
Because if they drop it all, Miami's in.
that's where the argument's going to be, because BYU right now is the buffer between Notre Dame and Miami, and Miami technically would have to jump 2 spots to make the playoff.
After not playing.
Exactly, which, makes it harder. I don't think it's reasonable to drop BYU if they lose tomorrow's game, just because, again, I don't think it's reasonable to drop a team in this 12 team for losing a conference championship game, since, that's kind of like a reward for how good you were.
But it doesn't
during
drop
the
them
regular
out.
season. No, well, it doesn't drop them out, but I just think for the sake of your rankings,
Yeah.
you're all of a sudden going to get, you hand in the rules when it comes to outside the top 10.
Yeah. And it's interesting because, I mean, what if it's 29-7 again, like the matchup? Like it's kind of a dominating game where you might have to move BYU down, especially if they don't look good. But it was weird. It seemed like the committee wanted to put in Notre Dame and not Miami. Remember, the original rankings, Notre Dame was like 7 and Miami was like 18.
And nothing surprising has happened to either of those teams.
Nope.
Not even remotely surprising.
Both teams have done almost exactly what we expected and what they should have done since. And Miami is just every week just slow. Like Miami passed USC.
Yeah.
Miami passed Vanderbilt. Miami passed Utah. Miami passed Texas. And what for beating Pitt? Like that's
again, and Notre Dame has fallen a little bit.
They fell. Oklahoma wins a big game, passes
Alabama wins a game which I don't really think Alabama deserved to be jumped up a spot for winning.
The committee chair said, like, well, it was a rivalry game. So
the only reason I could see Miami getting in this playoff is that the committee has been trying to fix their original mistake every week. And finally, if BYU were to lose, even though I think it would be wrong to drop them a spot, they would drop them a spot to justify fixing that Miami Notre Dame mistake.
This is why there shouldn't be weekly rankings.
No, not at all.
They should come out with a bracket like they do in college basketball, and there'd be no chance they would put Notre Dame above Miami if there was one spot left in that instance.
Maybe ESPN should they can do their own their own media. Their college football team can do a rankings to put on Tuesday night. But I agree, this has caused a whole mess. If I was a Notre Dame fan and I got dropped out, I would be outraged. If I'm a Miami fan, I have been outraged. If I'm a BYU fan, I'm livid. What else could they have done?
Yeah, I think the committee wants BYU to win so they can just say, sorry, Notre Dame, sorry, Miami, you're both out. We're not going to be the one to choose. Neither of you.
But you know what the committee should have done? They should have put BYU in over Notre Dame and Miami in the first place. Because then even if BYU loses, you can say, well, we're not going to penalize them for losing an extra game, which they got to play in because of how good they were. throughout the regular season. And then, this isn't an issue at all.
Yeah.
Or just maybe put Vanderbilt there at 10.
I do think they shouldn't have to decide right now if they were last week where to put these teams, like I just said. But
Yeah, I
that-
agree.
that's a moot point.
I think it should be it should come out on that Sunday, but
Catchy, you got any takeaways?
It just screams to me like the committee chose the battle they wanted to fight, from the public. Should Alabama have been in that 10 spot and lost tomorrow, they would have been dealing with, okay, do they get penalized for playing that extra game, as you're talking about, which everyone, I feel like, across the college football sphere has all kind of agreed that would completely devalue the entirety of conference championship games. And so the committee said, we'd rather fight the Notre Dame Miami should it come to that. And it's just a mess. I'm with you. The weekly rankings are fun, but they just make this so much worse. They make it so terrible.
I saw a video. I think I sent it to
I'd be totally fine.
Yeah, keep going.
I'd be totally fine if they did, like, at the beginning of November, like, one, like, rankings, like, of like at least maybe the top 12. Like, that's it. Like basketball does, where they do 16.
We sure would talk about it a whole lot less, though.
I know. And it's because it's not a football show. It's an entertainment thing. They're trying to bring in the ratings for those Tuesday evenings.
Yeah, they are, and they're getting them, and they're getting guys schmucks like us to sit in the podcast for 30
care
minutes
about them.
during our limited
To
free
care about
time and
them
just
way more
debate
than
about
they
them. Yeah, I saw a video. I think I sent it to you guys. It was Barstool Big Cat, and he was talking about, like, I have Ole Miss ahead of Georgia because Ole Miss has a way better loss than Georgia does. Georgia lost to Alabama, who's number 10. Ole Miss lost to Georgia. That's a great loss.
it was the losing rankings.
Yeah.
Where each team is you only valued their losses.
He was like, man, I
BYU's above Texas Tech.
BYU's above Texas Tech. Yeah, BYU's loss is great. Texas Tech lost to Arizona State.
Yeah.
And I think at the end he was like, I almost debated putting Oregon above Indiana because even though Indiana has no losses, Oregon has a great loss to Indiana. So, yeah, we'll see how it all shakes out. But we all agree there's almost no chance Bama gets dropped out if they lose to Georgia.
Yeah.
I think the committee kind of pushed their cards
Again,
table
it would have to be like 45-0 Georgia, and knowing how these Georgia-Bama games go,
I don't think that's going to happen.
yeah, even if wins like with a marginal
16
victory,
point game or something.
yeah, I
it
think
just doesn't.
35-20, Bama's safe.
Yeah, I mean, because knocking out Bama doesn't solve anything for the committee.
Not at all.
Like,
Well, I mean, you can knock them out.
you could put
Notre Dame
Miami and Notre Dame in.
Yeah.
That's ooh.
I think the real issue here is the committee doesn't want to leave out Notre Dame because they feel like Notre Dame's a real big brand, and people are going to turn on the TV to see Notre Dame at Texas A&M again, Notre Dame at Indiana, Notre Dame versus Georgia. Like, those sound awesome.
Yeah.
That being said, Miami's also a big brand. I'd watch them play.
Notre Dame feels like they could be in the national championship game.
I think, and Miami
Yeah.
doesn't, and that's the reason why Notre Dame's above Miami right now.
Which, I mean, if you're selecting these teams, I guess
And I
you
would
select
argue
them the
that
way you want.
If you had to ask me, like, to rank the teams of whether or not I think they can win a national championship this year, I would put Notre Dame in the top 4.
Yeah.
Like, it would not take long for them to come off the board.
I agree.
The issue, though, is that Notre Dame and Miami played, and Miami beat them.
Yes.
And
Correct. And it needs to matter.
hey, they should play again in Hawaii for a third.
Notre Dame, Miami was on during our fantasy draft. If that tells you how long ago that game was, still
I think that still matters. They still played the game.
absolutely they did play the game.
And let's look
There's
forward
no
to some
college football
games coming up.
preseason.
Yeah, we got some games coming up this weekend.
Starting tonight.
Matter of minutes. Yeah. Let's get it on the screen. There we go. Oh, we got the conference title game logos. Look at that. Got to give our graphics guy a raise. You know who he is, Ketchum? Are you
No,
still
but I
outsourcing the work?
could talk to his people.
Talk to his people.
I could talk to
Yeah.
his people. You know,
Get
see what we
them
can
on.
manage.
I heard he's got some hotshot agent I'm gonna have to deal with his contract negotiation coming up. Will Alex Ketchum be back for season 2 of the AP Sports College Football Podcast?
No, he's taking the Penn State job.
He's taking the Penn State job. I heard they offered it to Leo.
Hey, I didn't really get along with Pat Kraft very much, but that's a common theme, I think.
Dude, that
in
audio
college
is
football.
Leo's too
Did you
big
hear
of a
the
Crumble
audio?
Cookie fan to take
Oh,
the Penn
yeah.
State job. Imagine that sentence. All right.
Crumble Cookie is an awesome business.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they have locations in every state.
Do they?
I think I saw something like that.
Good for them.
Yeah, they bring in to pay a college football coach.
The AP Sports College Football Podcast brought to you by Crumble Cookie. And that water bottle, we have the logo backward because the brand does not sponsor us yet.
Oh,
If you're out there, just
am I?
we'll
yeah.
put your logo back there on the screen. These are not rankings.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go back to these game picks. So we've got Troy fresh off a 3 overtime thriller against USC. Oh wait, sorry, that's the wrong sport. Troy versus James Madison. James Madison 23.5 point favorite. Just
That's absurd.
dominating the Sun Belt this year. In a conference championship game,
That is absurd.
that's absurd. North Texas Tulane is a playoff game.
Yeah.
It's a play-in game, you could say.
Yeah.
It's funny that we have like playoffs, play-ins. It's all a bunch of
Hey, they're playing the games though. Yeah.
they're playing the play-in.
They're leaving it on the field.
Yeah. North Texas was ranked one spot above James Madison in the most recent committee ranking. Sorry we couldn't get those up on the screen. I wasn't sure what was wrong there, but so that means that if North Texas beats Tulane, you'd have to imagine they'll stay ahead of James Madison and get that group of 5 spot that
Absolutely.
could be 2 group of 5 spots, but we'll see. BYU Texas Tech, big game in the Big 12. Georgia Alabama Saturday afternoon, and then a nighttime doubleheader, Duke Virginia ACC championship.
Oh man.
No, it is not basketball. This is football. And then the Big Ten champ, Indiana, Ohio State. 1 versus 2, 12-0 versus 12-0. What stands out to you about these matchups? We actually haven't talked about the ACC doomsday scenario yet. We can get into that and anything else y'all wanna talk about. We'll have the game picks in a sec, but anything standing out overarching that's not about picking the games.
If I'm on my TV at 5 p.m. Pacific time on Saturday night, even though one game has significantly more playoff implications than the other, I'm watching the Big Ten championship for sure.
I agree. I am really interested in both of those teams. Catch, what do you think? Without spoiling your pick,
No, you're right. It's just a better game, and I feel like there's more questions that we have about both of them than the other game at 5 o'clock Pacific. The ACC doomsday scenario is alive and well, and to be honest, I'm kind of rooting for it. I'm not going to lie. Because if James Madison has earned the right to be a 23.5 point favorite in their conference championship game, damn it, they deserve to be in.
I do think people are sleeping on the fact that Virginia is 10-2 in a power conference. That's that's a lot of winning they've done this
they
year.
have.
And
They would deserve the playoff if they win the championship.
And
to 11.
one of their losses, too, their quarterback got injured on a targeting play in the first quarter.
I don't remember that. I'm pretty sure
Oh,
I
yeah.
picked the game correctly.
Oh, yeah.
So-
No. Their QB got hurt on a targeting play in the first quarter, and they lost by 1 score.
Yeah, to
So-
Wake Forest.
Could
Yeah,
have very well been 11-1.
I actually have a lot of questions about Duke and Virginia, specifically like who are their players. Um, but Indiana, Ohio State, like national championship relevant questions. Like,
Yes.
can either team like we've seen Indiana step up to adversity against Penn State? Can Ohio State step up to adversity? This will be the best team they've played each other all season. Obviously, two best teams in the country, but it's going to be interesting.
The one thing I'll say, though, is I don't know if losing that game makes you any worse off for winning a championship.
I agree. That is a fair take. I don't think the difference between a 1 seed and the potential 3 seed, probably 2,
No,
but
and
potentially
you
3.
might learn stuff about yourself in a loss that
Yeah.
helps propel you forward. Again, if Ohio State wins by 35, I think we'll have a good idea what happened in the playoff. But
Yeah.
I could very well see a close game where the loser goes on to succeed more in the playoff.
In terms of having a chance to still compete in the playoff, you're right that the loser of this game doesn't have much, but I think I will have a lot better read on who I think can do well in the playoff based on how this
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
goes. Also, ABC, man, that ESPN deal they negotiated to get the Big 12 championship, the SEC championship, and the ACC championship, and the MAC, and 5 of these games are on ESPN or ABC networks.
Yeah.
CBS has totally been left out to dry in whatever new agreement they got. Fox obviously has the biggest Big Ten game, but the head of programming at ESPN for college football was a guest speaker in one of my classes the other day. Really fascinating to hear about all those like contract negotiations and stuff. And look, they did really well. If this is the lineup they're getting for the biggest weekend of the year.
Yeah.
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 All right, but your humble host over here had a lead in the game picks at one point, but it is evaporated, and now the field has come back to the standings after a so week last week. It is now a tie at the top with me and TJ, who none of you have had the pleasure to meet yet, as he hasn't appeared on a podcast. But maybe we'll get him at some point. We got
At some
Leo
point.
1 game back. Nolan out of the ashes 2 games back, and then Ketchum is 4 games back. 4 and 5 last week in a pretty chalky week is got to be a little disappointing for the guy. But
Brooks, I know there were a few weeks where you were leading, but I'm old enough to remember when Ketchum had a sizable lead like the first 3-4 weeks of that, and now he has plummeted to last.
came out the gates hot.
About it. I don't want to talk about it.
Hey, the Las Vegas Raiders were 1-0, and now they're 2-10. All right, let's see what we've got for the picks this week. Fateful week of picks, gonna be kind of getting into position before the playoffs. Troy versus James Madison. Did anyone take the 20? That'd be stupid to take the 23.5 point underdog in a game neither of us can name a player on either team.
I don't know. Some people might say that Troy feels more like 9-4 than James Madison feels like 12-1. I know that's how we were picking games earlier in the season, but
Maybe I need to get back to that. That was working better than whatever I've been doing the past couple of weeks. I did see something I wanted to share because when you said 9-4 Troy, it reminded me. Obviously, it would have to have a lot of underdogs winning the games this week. It says there exists a scenario where one of the following teams will have to be selected by the committee for a CFP spot: 8-5 Duke, 9-4 Troy, 9-4 Boise State, 9-4 Western Michigan, and 10-3 Kennesaw State. Jesus, that could be.
Hey.
There's 9 conferences. 5 conference champions have to get in. One of these teams would have to get in.
I think 8-5 Duke's the team.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would love to see Kennesaw. Are they even eligible? Aren't they transitioning from
No.
FCS?
No, they're not eligible.
That's crazy.
I know that is a big underdog, but we got to give credit to their backup quarterback, Tucker Gilchrist, who has led them for half the year and gotten them to the Sun Belt Championship game.
Hey,
Hey, catch up. Deep pull. Parker Navarro out here.
giving credit where credit is due.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Anybody want to say anything about this, or can I move on to the American Athletic?
No, let's go to the American.
Billy Napier, bro.
Billy Napier's
Oh,
back.
yeah.
North Texas, Tulane, North Tech, Tulane. Okay. All three guys in here picked North Texas. The other two of our friends, Big N Dog and Junie Tunes, took Tulane. I don't have a great feel on this game. I know North Texas has some dynamic walk-on quarterback, something that my grandpa loves and talks
Drew
about all the time.
Mestemaker.
Drew Mestemaker.
Drew
That's his name.
Mestemaker. He's only needs like 170 yards tonight to have a 4,000.
4,000 yard season's huge. Fernando Mendoza doesn't even have 3,000 yards. Heisman favorite, my butt.
Hey, we'll talk about
We'll
that
talk about that
tomorrow.
on Monday. Yeah.
Monday.
We actually have a special guest coming in on Monday to talk about the Heisman Trophy and the playoff breakdown once we get a bracket. Yeah, you guys have anything to say about North Texas, Tulane?
When I've looked at like the data, looked at the FPI and the strength of record, they all grade North Texas very highly. I think North Texas and FPI might have been above like USC this week, and it tends to like these Power 5 or Power 4, actually more now Power 2 conferences, even with 3 losses. But again, to see a North Texas above like a USC, a Michigan, like a Illinois even, I feel like that tells me that they've performed in a way where they have like legit talent and they are very efficient, and I think they're probably the better team.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue the American Athletic Conference was almost closer to the Big 12 and ACC this year than those two conferences were to the SEC Big 10. Definitely probably closer to them than
to the ACC for sure.
To the ACC for sure.
Yeah.
And going 11-1 in that conference, with the loss being to South Florida, who did play themselves out of contention these past couple weeks, but was a very good team this year.
Put in offense.
For sure. Yeah, I like Northern Texas. Shout out all 4 of my grandparents, alumni of North Texas. So we'll root for the Mean Green. Any takes, Catch, or should we move on to the Big 12?
Go Power 4.
All right. That's where all the money is, right? BYU, Texas Tech,
Yeah.
12.5. Tech. I mean, dominated them last time they played in Lubbock. This one is in Dallas. Probably going to be a big Texas Tech contingent there. I think Texas Tech is just better. I think they're the only non-power tool that has the talent profile, and maybe Clemson, but they destroyed themselves this year. That has the talent profile of a Power 2 school. I think they're probably going to get a bye when they win this game, and it's a really, really good season for Joey McGuire and the Red Raiders. But BYU winning could create the chaos that typically ensues.
Or it could actually remove some chaos.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, then you just get a kick
out Notre Dame. Miami.
I do think, Kalani staying is pretty hype and, should motivate the BYU players. But that being said, getting that first round bye is a lot to play for. And I think Texas Tech is going to be locked in.
This is true. Catchy?
I just think this is a bet for BYU.
Yeah. Texas Tech is something they're
really good.
Yeah.
Number 1 in the country by like a big margin in like first half plays of over 20 plus yards. They just have these big plays in the first half and run up the score. And BYU is a team that needs that like ball control run game. Martin, their running back,
Yeah, Martin's really good.
But-
Bachmeier runs the ball really well.
But if they're down 14-0 at the end of the first quarter,
You got to throw the ball.
gotta throw the ball, and
a
that's
weakness.
That's when Jacob Rodriguez comes in and makes his Heisman case. All right, let's get into the SEC. Ketchum, you took Georgia. Let's talk about these games as we're picking them. What do you got to say?
I think that this is a scenario where I don't Emma like Kirby gets beat by the same team twice in a year.
Mm.
That's where I'm at.
Fair. Too good to lose twice in a
Well, it's not even. Okay,
No, I know. I'm making
it
the
was a
Virginia
that
joke.
ended up paying off.
Yeah, it did.
That joke ended up paying off big time. But I just think that this is a matchup that it's unbelievably even in talent profiles, and I think Alabama is very one-dimensional, and when they can't run the ball at all, and I think Georgia's a little bit more balanced as well.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you. Who's that coming down the track? It's Alabama. I'm making the upset. Not even that big of an upset. What's this line? Like 2.5?
2.5, I think.
2.5.
I think Alabama should have probably lost that Auburn game, should have probably lost the South Carolina game. They should have lost a lot of these games. They've been playing with fire. They really haven't looked that good most of the season. A big win over Georgia, big win over Tennessee, big win over Vanderbilt. So I can't say they haven't looked good most of the season. They've had some shaky games. And you're right, they can't run the ball. They're not very balanced offensively. I just have seen this play out too many times with Alabama coming out on top to not pick them here, especially when they feel like the more desperate team. Georgia feels very secure. And while I don't think desperation theory, TM, I don't think they're going to drop Alabama out, and Alabama doesn't think they're going to get dropped out, but you really never know. If they fall to 10-3 and BYU wins, I don't know. I just think that desperation theory, Kirby's 1-9 against Alabama. Like you said, it's hard to imagine him losing twice to the same team in the same year, but something about those crimson helmets make Kirby shaking his boots, I guess. It's not even really shaking his boots because they don't play poorly. Georgia doesn't play
they never
poorly
play
in those
poorly.
games. They just don't. I don't know.
All right.
Let's see who else we got. TJ's got Georgia, Leo's got Georgia, and Nolan's got Georgia. All right.
I
guess we're all tied.
Here's what I'll say. You bring out 1-7 against Alabama for Kirby Smart. The win
was the
second time he played an Alabama team in the season. They played in the SEC championship, and Alabama won minimally. Then they played in the national championship, and Georgia won big. Also, that game, Jamison Williams was hurt for Alabama in that national championship game.
He got hurt. He tore his ACL.
Yeah. Alabama has some big injuries on their offense coming into this game.
So Georgia does too. They both are very injured teams.
Yes, but I think because Georgia's more balanced, Alabama needs the offensive firepower a little more. I don't see Kirby Smart losing twice, like Ketchum said. I know, also people are trying the Kalen DeBoer thing now. He can't beat Kalen DeBoer as well as Nick Saban. No. I don't really
in 2 games.
Well, we know the circle of suck. Alabama can't beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma can't beat Texas, can't beat Georgia, and Georgia can't beat Alabama. All those teams are in the playoff, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
Right?
Sorry.
They should be.
Yeah. Still hook 'em horns. All right. Everybody taking Duke in the doomsday scenario. We didn't touch on that too much today. I don't know if we need to get into it too much. If Duke wins, they're probably going to put in James Madison and North Texas.
Yeah.
And then the ACC does not get a bid in the playoffs.
That's where, going back to the beginning of the show, I think Duke winning might be more consequential for Notre Dame, Miami, just because, again, Notre Dame's an independent. If you're the committee, you don't got to really need to, appease anyone there. You do need to make the ACC happy.
So you think if JMU wins, and Duke wins and BYU loses,
Mhm.
they'll hop Miami over BYU and have the direct comparison Notre Dame Miami and be more inclined to have Miami hop Notre Dame
Yes.
to keep the ACC happy because their champion
Yeah.
won't be. Yeah, I think that's a really good take.
Hey, I know we all picked Virginia, but isn't Darian Mensah like the highest paid player in college football right now? He's been really good this year. I don't think their losing has anything to do with him.
I agree. I also was Duke. One of their losses was to UConn. UConn was 9-3. Their 3 losses were in overtime.
Yeah.
UConn could have been
Yeah,
12-0.
Wait, did Joey Fagnano ever throw an interception this year?
I don't know. Yes, he did.
He did?
He did. He threw one.
No.
I saw the Biggest Losers article on CBS, and I was like, did they lose?
28 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Bro thinks he's Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford threw what? Like
2 last week and fumbled the game away. All right, last game, the Big Ten Championship. Ketchum, you took Ohio State. You want to go into that a little bit? We got some time, Leo?
yeah, we got a few minutes.
I'm just rolling with the team that I just think is the more complete team. I think it's going to be, I don't know. I'm just rolling with the team that looks more dominant right now. I don't know if there's really any statistical reason I have other than they just look more dominant, and I don't think they're going to have any problems.
Same boat as you. I'm also taking the Buckeyes. I just have more faith in the program. As I always tell one of my friends at Indiana, I go, it's Indiana, bro, when he's trying to talk about them being good. I don't know. If Indiana wins this game, I was fully an Indiana hater all of in the first half of this year. And then they went into Oregon and won that game. And I became a semi-believer. Like that was a great win. But then, I don't know, they didn't have the strongest strength of schedule. They had by far the lowest strength of schedule in the whole Big Ten. In the last 3 seasons, in the regular season, Indiana has played 3 ranked teams, and one of them was Illinois this year. So, they crushed Illinois. They're crushing people. That is why I think Indiana is a good team. I think Indiana is a good team because they are destroying bad teams. And Leo, like you said, making the playoffs is about beating bad teams.
Yeah.
Texas didn't do it. Miami didn't do it. But winning a championship is about beating good teams. I've seen Indiana beat good. I have not seen Curt Cignetti and Indiana beat good teams yet. I don't think they have multiple wins over teams I would consider to be good. Their losses to Ohio State and Notre Dame last year, they're only big games. But if they win this one, then I am a full believer. You can mark it down.
All right.
Let's see. Leo, did you follow suit?
I
He not.
I think Ohio State is focused on winning a national championship. I think Indiana is focused on beating Ohio State.
Oh,
Games in Indianapolis. It's closer to Indiana, or it's in Indiana. Yeah. I mean, Indiana's the closer school. When Indiana's really good. I think they've had some time now to prep for this game. I feel like, Ohio State had to beat Michigan. Ryan Day had to beat Michigan. I just think, I think Indiana's going to win. I don't think that's going to make Ohio State any less likely to win a national championship, though.
that's fair. I think Ohio State also hasn't won a Big Ten championship in like 5 or 6 years, which will probably make them a little motivated.
I
Also,
think they care more about beating Michigan. I think it's
more about beating Michigan and more about winning national championships than just
Yeah.
winning the Big Ten championship. Yeah, we'll see. It should be a great game. All these games, hopefully, will be great games. To recap it looks like Ketchum took all the favorites. Underdog Alabama. Leo's got 1 underdog Indiana. And then Nolan and TJ have Tulane. So
That's probably the most likely underdog.
probably the most likely underdog.
Yeah.
That game seems like a little bit of a
Old
pick 'em
State.
to me. But
Tulane's the higher ranked team.
they are. But they're not the favorite, and they have a worse record. It's interesting. It's
And it's at
kind of interesting
home.
dynamics there. It's at home.
Yeah, it's
Where's
a
the
home game.
games in? in Tulane or
New-
what's their city?
Orleans.
New
New Orleans. Yeah. Huh. I didn't know that.
I would have. That kind of shocks me.
Yeah.
That they're underdogs.
2.5 point
home
underdogs at
as
home.
the higher ranked team.
Yeah.
I feel like you almost never see that.
That's a good point. Well, I think that was a really good show, boys. Fun season. I can't believe it's already the conference championship weekend and December 4th, 5th. It's the 5th today.
Fifth.
December
Yeah.
5th. I actually took my my last class of college this morning, so about to join you in the
What
real
class
world,
was it,
Catchy.
Andrew?
It was a surfing class.
There it is. There it is.
Yep. Shout out USC. My last 2 classes were a screening of Zootopia 2 with Jason Bateman and a surfing class. That's what you're gonna get. Any high school kids out there want to go to USC?
Hey, Zootopia 2 was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
And tell your parents to bring their wallets because USC is a steep one, but it's been worth it. It's been a super fun 3.5 years here. Grateful for guys like you, studios like this to get to make our own college football podcast. So unless you guys got anything to say, we can sign off. Enjoy some football this weekend and
See you Monday.
see you Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, special guest. Tune in. God bless the USA.